future. Wait, this is what
it's a typo.
was. Oh, okay.
This is what a
yeah,
future.
This is what a
This is what
future.
future
Sorry, future depression, Xanax, and wine combo nights alone looks like. But hey, the shashuka.
It's gonna be amazing.
So let's play the video. Nick, if you can go full screen on it, and then we'll get the panel's reaction.
Xanax wine nights.
It's 10:45 a.m. on a Saturday. I'm 29 and single, and I don't have kids yet. Here's what your Saturday morning looks like when you're single at 29 and you don't have a kid running around the house. I didn't rise from my bed until 10:15. Every time I thought, I should probably get up and do something. I thought, why? Nobody's making me. I'm not missing out on anything. I went to Beyonce last night, and I didn't get home until 1 a.m. And I danced and drank my little heart out, and I didn't pay a babysitter to watch my kids as I did that. And I woke up a tad hungover this morning, which is probably why I was
She living a dream, huh?
And I was just scrolling on my phone and I saw a picture of shakshuka and I thought, you know what sounds really good? Maybe I'm gonna learn how to make shakshuka today because I have no plans and I don't have kids and I don't have a husband and I don't have errands to run. I can go to the grocery store and learn how to make shakshuka. So that's on my agenda today. Also on my agenda, probably a rewatch of some Real Housewives of New York. I'm also doing a rewatch of Normal People on Hulu, which is really spicy and I highly recommend. Weirdly, I'm into this documentary on Netflix about blue zone countries, so I've got a pretty stacked day. Anyway, I say all this to say, whenever I'm hard on myself about why I'm not married and I don't have kids and I should be further along at 29, almost 30, I wouldn't want to do anything else this Saturday. And I know that you can do all these things when you have kids and you're married, and I understand, but the effortlessness and ease of my life, just kind of focusing on myself and the shakshuka I want to make or the Beyonce concert I want to go to really pays off when I'm hard on myself for not being where society tells me I should be in life.
I thought it was gonna be really her going shot.
So, why do you guys think that this video went kind of crazy viral, and what's the analysis here?
I mean, it went crazy viral because Matt Walsh tweeted it. Let's be real. That would have just gone into the ethosphere on TikTok, and no one would have talked about it had he not picked that up and tweeted it.
Well, I don't know if Matt Walsh was the first
He
person.
was.
Oh, was
Yeah.
he really? Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I guess what's interesting to me is that this woman has actually even said, she gives herself a hard time. She wants to be married. She wants to have children. So I don't think that it's right to demonize her and act like she's gonna have a depressing life when she just hasn't found the right person, because clearly she wants those things and she's trying to make herself feel better and other people in that community feel better about not being that far along. Because like you said, you wanted people to settle down with the right person, take their time, figure out if that's the right person. So just because she's 29, you're saying that it's too late for her and she's gonna be doing Xanax and drinking wine at night because she hasn't reached that point
I
yet?
didn't say that. That's not my tweet.
I'm about to say, when was that said? Hold on. When was that said?
You said the future.
Yeah,
Right.
because she's obviously a narcissist, right?
Oh, she just swung from left field.
So
Why
the
would you
issue,
think
first
that?
and foremost, let's not pretend this is one video that she made. It's her brand on TikTok. It's her brand on social media. She talks about these are this community known as dinks. We're happy and we're childless. She talks about how great it is to be childless. So she has developed she's a social media influencer that talks about childlessness. So let's not pretend this is one woman making a video who just said, oh, I had a great Saturday. There's absolutely no reason, if you had a great Saturday at 29 years old and you learned to make shashuka and you slept in at 11 until 11:15 or 10:15, whatever she said, that you need to bring up children. Exactly.
Excellent point. Excellent point. If you're so happy, why are we talking about kids? I don't need kids. I don't want kids. Why is that the subject matter of your whole brand?
Absolutely no reason. You just say, here's what I did today. I laid in all day. I did this. I did that. The fact that she has to correlate it to saying, and this somehow makes me better than people that have children, is the problem.
She doesn't say that.
She literally goes on to talk about not having children. It wasn't necessary in this video. So it's not like people are just shaming single women on the internet. You could go on right now and talk about what you've done all day, and there's no reason to bring up, having a child or not. She's actually doing the shaming, and now we're trying to pretend that she's the victim. She's not. She has.
Have we noticed in how this one in the back is just looking at herself? She's just freaking this one in the back is just looking at herself. The one in the left, you see old boy right there holding the pen, and right beside him, she's just looking at herself. It's nice what they're talking about, but I don't care because I'm cute. That's interesting. As she calls this person a narcissist, I just think that's hilarious. I think that's hilarious.
As a brand where she talks about childlessness and she talks about leaning into selfishness and all the things that are amazing about not having children. Again, this is not the first video that she's produced. So the reason why, and if you're a man watching this, don't marry this woman. She's basically telling you she's selfish. She's telling you she's a narcissist. Everything she says is about me, 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 me. Even if you're single, you don't have to make your whole day revolve around you. You don't have to. You can get up in the morning, you can go help others, you can do other things. You can say, now that I have free time as a single woman, I can go dedicate time to the church. I can sing. I can do this. I can help people find God. That particular woman that you just looked at is a selfish bitch, and men should not marry.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. She is like slashing into these people. Those are like 90s General Cups.
Her. That's my personal opinion.
You wanted to come in really quick?
Yes, I wanted to answer your question real quick as to, you said why it went viral. I think it went viral because it's like, nowadays, it's like,
She's a terrible, she should not even be talking. Ugh.
it's relatable in our day and age. You know what I mean? Like 22, 23 years old. I don't know how old this girl is, but like
She said 29.
29 or whatever, but in my day and age, like, it's relatable to be like, haha, we don't got kids, like, quote
You're
unquote,
22.
fuck them kids. You know what I mean? It's like,
I'm glad you're admitting that.
it's like that.
I'm glad
Like,
you're admitting that.
It's like a term that people use, you know what I mean? And it's like,
You know what I mean?
it's
Like,
just relatable.
it's like.
That's why it gets so many views, is what, to answer your question.
I think that's really honest of you to say that.
You wanted to come in? Go
Fuck
ahead.
them kids.
Yeah.
No, I said
I'm
quote
just gonna-
unquote,
I was
that's
gonna-
what they say. you know
Yeah,
what I
but you're
mean?
admitting that so that she's starting the fight. You're looking
And
at
it's a
people that are
trend,
moms.
that are
Like, I don't
trending. It's a
when
trend.
I'm with my kids.
Right.
I don't post videos and say "f them single chicks with no kids."
Right.
She did the baiting, okay, and we responded. That's it.
I
Right,
don't know.
like it's a
The
new
first
trend
thing I was
type
gonna
thing.
say.
Hold on, let's just let Essie go ahead. Go
the
ahead.
first thing I noticed about the video was that she was putting people with kids down. It'd be fine if she was just talking about how her day was and wording it differently, but it seemed like almost immediately from the beginning of the video that she was belittling people with kids, which I think is like the part of the problem.
Pixie, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I think this is like up to interpretation, because personally when I saw that video, my interpretation was like, oh, she's putting herself down because she's saying like, oh, you know, when I tell myself, why am I not further along in life? You know, it's okay because at least I'm enjoying these things. So I could definitely see, like, depending on how you're looking at it, or if you have further context, why you would think she.
This is a classic. This is a classic hippy dippy move where it's like, oh no, it's just how you interpret it. So like, let's take the conflict out of it. No.
She's putting kids down. But when I saw that video by itself, I was thinking like people are kind of going a little bit overboard in the sense that she says she's being harsh on herself. She doesn't have children, and these are just the things that have made her happy today. And I don't think that by itself, without additional context, is inherently wrong.
Anybody else? Tara, did I say it right this time?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know the background of what other types of content and messaging she puts out, but just from that video alone, I don't think to me, I never got the impression she was shaming people that did.
Go ahead. You
And
wanted
all
to
I'm
come
saying
in.
is like,
You're an idiot.
it's sad, but it's crazy that like it's a trend. You know what I mean? Like
It
that's
is.
why.
You know what I
they're
mean?
getting
Like,
so
you know what I
many
mean?
views
Like,
on TikTok or Instagram or whatever they're posting these things on. It's like, it's a trend,
Yeah.
and you know, it's crazy.
Just a show of hands. Who here wants to have kids one day?
More, yeah. It's my third, but
Besides Candace, does anyone here have kids?
I do.
You got kids? How many?
Yeah.
You got?
I have a son. He's 21.
Okay, gotcha.
He's
Gotcha.
perfect.
damn,
I'm good.
she old.
Okay.
But one thing I notice, a trend, like, I agree that it's a trend, and she's doing that to brand herself and go viral and get a lot of attention and maybe monetize that. When I talk with other girls and they're younger, and I'll say, "Are you married? Are you planning on having children?" Sometimes that's a hot button for them, and it's maybe perhaps these kind of trends are like it's a rebellious thing because sometimes it's expected for people to get married out of the gate and have children and that kind of traditional lifestyle. If it's an expectation that parents have that they put on their children, and younger generations aren't having it, especially these days when it's so hard it's so.
No, thank you. I don't smoke. or drink or curse or do drugs anymore. I'm rehabilitated. I've learned my lesson.
To everyone at 29 saying something that is appropriate when you're at 21 or 22, it's a little different. And she knew what she was doing. It was intentional. And like I said, if you look into her content, this is not some innocent woman that was posting just to boost herself up on the internet. She's trying to get clicks. She's trying to get views.
Right.
And she got them, for better or for worse.
I want to come back a little bit now to people's relationship status. So, or not even so much relationship status, but perhaps it's related. So both of you do courtship?
Sex work.
Courtship?
Courtesan.
Courtesan.
That's an
Sex work.
old-fashioned historical term.
Okay.
Back in the day,
What about you?
So anywhere between 2 to 3. Oh, sorry.
It's fine.
Anywhere between 2 to 3.
Okay.
And sometimes 4 or 5, depending on.
Sure. Per day.
Yes.
Do you know what the most is in one day? Like, was there one day
It
this?
always fluctuates.
Okay.
Look
Whatever,
at Candace's
like 10,
face.
A dozen.
I don't.
yes.
Is that-
There, I mean,
Baker's
yeah,
dozen?
it can. It
Okay.
can happen.
Sure.
I don't personally do that.
When coming off the heels of Dennis Hoff's Cat House, there were, I
What?
mean,
Oh, Nick, hide. In
What the heck just happened?
okay, cool.
Okay, we're fine. Okay, all right, good. All right, welcome to the Whatever Podcast. Always something.
I've ran into a lot of insecure men. Typically, those are the ones that can't handle.
Candace
me
wanna hit
doing
this
what I have
girl.
to work. And
She's just looking at her
Just a
like,
point of clarification. So, you've run into a lot of insecure men, and
And-
are they insecure because they don't want to date you because you are currently active as a prostitute?
no, I'm saying I've never dated a guy while I was working at the brothels,
Mm-hmm.
at the Bunny Ranch or the Mustang Ranch. But I've been dating guys like between me doing camming and
Sure.
dancing. So that's what I'm talking about.
But you mentioned insecure men. What specifically are they doing that makes them insecure? Is it because they're insecure about your work?
Yes, like I've had exes in the past that would cry about me going to work to dance at the strip club.
Okay.
I've had guys try to control like what I wear and say that I can't work at strip clubs or do OnlyFans or whatever.
Oh, sorry. Was there more?
No, and that's.
Okay. Is it because they're insecure, or is that just them having boundaries and standards?
I feel like that's. I mean, you knew what I was doing before you met me, right? So all of them knew exactly what I was doing before they met me, which brings it to, yeah, if you have a problem with what I do before you meet me, maybe don't get involved with me.
Sure.
I'm very open. I'm a very honest person. You knew what I was doing before you met me. If you don't like it, there's the door. Nobody's making you stay.
I think too,
She has a point.
gentlemen love the idea of dating us, and then once we go to do it, then it's not really realistic.
Right. It's almost like fetish.
A fetish.
Like, you're right.
Yeah.
you
It's
be
like,
dumb as hell. They
oh,
can't
it's
talk.
so
Fetish
hot.
eyes.
I have a girlfriend that does this, that, and the other, and then when they're really at home, and I'm like,
Let's get to
OnlyFans or-
Candace.
The fact that she posts this types of photos, I'm gonna make her stop. You know, I'm gonna change her basically because
And when you say hi,
But it might not necessarily be related to that you're now doing OnlyFans.
Yeah, I also don't do nudes on OnlyFans, so it's just like lingerie content.
Oh, okay.
Between her and Logan, but if you don't think that that's going to other men, it completely diminishes the man. A recent cultural example of that, obviously, is what's happening with Nina Agdal. She's not a sex worker by any means. She just kind of said some sexy things on the internet about wanting cock, and look at what. I
Was
mean,
not
this
expecting that from Candace.
I'm quoting her directly, so this is purely academic.
Purely academic.
Purely academic, and look at what happened. You know, now Logan has become the laughing stock of other men as they piece together everything that she's ever said that's overtly sexual. And again, she's not a sex worker, but what happened is her value just completely plummeted because, you know, this thing that men need to feel And I don't want to say possession in a way that sounds bad, because it's not bad. It's actually really beautiful. And I'm lucky. And
She's about to explain men looking at women as a possession. They're going to twist that on her. That's why she had to say it's not a bad thing, because they're going to, possession, that's a negative word to them. Like, oh, you don't get to possess me.
fortunate that I get to experience that in my marriage, and it's something that women should strive toward. Women that make those exchanges in their youth, I think that's sad, and I do feel bad for Nina Agdal, is because she said a lot of those statements when she was really young. She's probably your age. And she had a camera, and she said it, and it lives forever.
Right.
And now every man that she dates is going to say Dylan Danis has made her available to everyone. And I hope things work out between her and Logan, but if you don't think that that's going to impact Logan, or that's not actively impacting him as a man, it is. So with
Oh, they're squirming in their seats because they want to come back and say, well, it's not really like my responsibility to hold him up as I am.
With women, it's a trade-off. First thing you said was, I make money, this is about money. It's about money, but when it comes down to marrying these women, men just don't want it.
And that's exactly why I said that in this industry, I'm single until I retire.
But it will still matter.
I don't plan on doing this.
She didn't hear that. It will still matter. She kept going, no, I don't plan on. She's going to keep going, but she's not getting that what you're doing is on the internet. And like she said, it lives forever. You won't be able to live it down.
Or getting married or finding the love of my life until I retire,
Yeah.
like truthfully.
And
then
I
after
hope
that,
you see what happens to Nina Agdal.
no. And
because-
then after that, I will be
And it's getting spicy. Here we go. Girls are doing their passive aggressive, and like you got to see the in between, the nuances on this.
honest and truthful with the person that I will be getting married to or whatever, and it'll be up to him to accept that, right? So,
And I'm
that would
just
be
saying that
his
men's
decision.
natural proclivity is to not accept that, because it brings them shame. Men are biologically
Okay,
proud creatures.
I understand, but
and
not
to-
everybody
hold on,
can be.
hold
Look, she's hurting her feelings. That's why she's starting to cut her off. She don't want to hear that. Shut up, Candace. Stop talking.
No, I know. I'm not. I'm just telling you what is happening and why people are. I'm just talking about cultural events, the Nina Agdal thing, and if you look at people like Emily Ratajkowski, she's obviously hot. But this is a woman who's now trying to make divorce chic, and I think that the understanding is in Hollywood is, sleep with her and move on. She's not marriage material. Her husband, when he had her cheat.
Yo, she is brutal in her delivery.
On her because they didn't have that thing. I feel like I've slept with the girl. I've seen her naked so many times, right? So there's nothing special about Sebastian Bear marrying her, because we've all seen her naked. There's nothing sacred in that relationship. And I'm just speaking on telling you, this is why women struggle to get married when they've made themselves available on OnlyFans, because other men don't want to share. They don't want to share their wife. They maybe will share their girlfriend. They might think it's fun to date a stripper for a little bit. They might think, oh, this means I'm going to have sex 12 times a day. But then when it gets down to just their biological instinct, it's actually quite embarrassing for them as a man, because they can look up your girl and here she is, So that's what I think is happening.
Yeah, I'm just curious about your opinion on this, because I've seen like a couple of people in like Red Pill Spaces, like Pates or people similar to that, talking about how they should marry a young woman. Would you agree or disagree that might not be the most like rational course of action?
To marry a young woman? What do you mean by that?
That I hear a lot of men talk about how a woman inherently loses value as she gets older, and that's why that they should seek out young women.
Well, I live in the South, and a lot of people get married young, and I think it's really beautiful and wonderful. They preserve this sort of innocence. I have people that work for me that want to get married at 22. They drop out of school. So I don't think there's anything wrong with marrying when you're young. I'd have to see the full context of what they're talking about, because I do think, obviously, the longer you wait, and especially in this society that's creating this simulation that sexuality equates to freedom when it doesn't, that what he might be suggesting is that the longer a woman runs free, the more partners that she's gathering, and her worth is being diminished. And I think that there is some veracity to that. But if it's said in a way that sounds a little crass, like seek out younger women because they're not as used, and I can see why people would be offended by it, but that might be underpinned by a little bit of logic. So I'd have to see the clip in its entirety.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that's a sketchy one right there. That's sketchy.
The reason why I'm asking is because in general, I think men do have a biological proclivity. I can't pronounce that word.
Proclivity.
Proclivity. You know, to seek out like youth and beauty. But I also think when it comes to like settle down, you want a mother who's going to be responsible and good towards her children.
Yeah, this I gotta stop it here, y'all. I can't do the whole. It's a 4-hour thing, but it's just more reasons why Candace is dope, man. I believe it's just more reasons why Candace is dope, personally. So I mean, we just took a look and reaction at it, and I agree with about 80-90% of what Candace is saying. You know, I don't, and this is usually preferenced in a way of they're talking about very, very like rich men or men who everybody wants to marry. So I don't think this is going for the, you know, the mechanic down at the Jiffy Lube, but you know, to this degree, like where she's taking like 5-6 penises a day and all that type of stuff, that's a little aggressive, dude. That's insane. That's insane. I would think that would warp her sexuality where she would be able to have a regular relationship, I think. But what do I know? I don't know. Loved it. We'll do more on it.